What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who classic review. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 5th Doctor Peter Davison story, Arc of Infinity. This is another story that I don't know a massive amount about, other than it is the second story for Omega. So Omega, of course, was introduced in the Three Doctors back in the 3rd Doctor story, and we haven't seen him since. We thought he was dead, but then he appears back here in Arc of Infinity. The Three Doctors is a very well regarded story. This one, from what I've heard, the little I've heard about it, not so much. So yeah, I was wondering what this one was going to be like. So let's get onto the back of the DVD. This is Arc of Infinity by Johnny Byrne. Travelling with Nyssa in the TARDIS, the Doctor is attacked by a malign entity, a being of pure antimatter seeking to cross the dimensions. Although the invader is successfully repelled, the TARDIS is immediately recalled to Gallifrey, where the High Council of Time Lords sentence the Doctor to be executed to prevent any further attempts at bonding. It seems there is a traitor on Gallifrey, and what links the renegade and the disappearance of Tegan's cousin in Amsterdam. Two fates intertwined must battle for the future of the entire universe. So that's the back of the DVD there for Arc of Infinity. Something weird's going on with the Doctor. There's some weird antimatter creature trying to bond with the Doctor. And also, yeah, it's just the Doctor and Nyssa on the TARDIS because Tegan got left behind at the end of Time Flight, the last episode, and she's now trying to find her cousin in Amsterdam. So very weird, the whole thing, because, you know, I've not watched this like back to back with Time Flight. I believe Time Flight was the last 5th Doctor story that I watched, but it was quite a while ago now. So yeah, remembering that, oh yeah, Tegan did get left behind, but we'll talk a bit about that later. But yeah, a lot going on there. Let's get into the cast. Peter Davison as the 5th Doctor. So Peter Davison in this one is, yeah, he's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's anything absolutely standout in this story. It's nice to see him and Sarah Sutton have a lot of acting chemistry here because, yeah, Nyssa is the companion when, you know, we had this big TARDIS team, of course, a couple of episodes before this. Adric was here as well. Tegan's usually here, but she kind of isn't with the Doctor in that for the majority of this one. But yeah, usually when there is this big TARDIS team, Nyssa's the one that gets forgotten about the most. So it's nice here for her to actually have a lot more to do, with the Doctor. So I really like that. And yeah, Peter Davison, he is very good. Sarah Sutton as Nyssa. Yeah, like I said, this is, I'd say, one of the better episodes for Nyssa because she actually does some stuff. She's with the Doctor a lot. I'll be honest, Sarah Sutton, I mean, I like Nyssa as a companion. I think sometimes Sarah Sutton's acting isn't great. I think she's one of the weaker actresses. I mean, she's still better than Matthew Waterhouse when Adric was around. But yeah, there are a few moments here where it does feel like she's not the best actress in the world. But I like here that I like Nyssa as a companion just generally and as a character. And yeah, I think the chemistry between her and the Doctor here is very good, and it's nice to see that because, yeah, we don't get to see enough of it in this era. Janet Fielding as Tegan Jovanka. Yep, Tegan isn't with the Doctor and Nyssa for the majority of this story. She only really comes back around with them towards the end. She has a bit to do in this episode, but really it's just she's looking for her cousin, this character that we've never even heard of before. And yeah, she's looking for him. Something weird's gone on with him. Colin, I think is his name. And yeah, there's just, I don't know. I mean, it's fine with what she's got going on in this episode, but she's kind of forgotten about a little bit. But she does have this plot with her cousin, although it's not the most interesting. And yeah, it's kind of a bit weird at first when you're like, wait, why is she just here on Earth doing this and not with the Doctor? Like, you've really got to think about what's going on here. Right, let's look at some points for this episode. Something is taking control of the TARDIS and also trying to take control of the Doctor. So the episode starts, the Doctor and Nyssa in the TARDIS, and yeah, something is first of all trying to kind of morph with the Doctor. We see this antimatter creature looking thing pretty early on, trying to like morph with the Doctor. And then also the TARDIS is kind of getting taken as well. It's getting taken to Gallifrey. And yeah, the Doctor doesn't have control of it. And it's all like, what is going on here? What is this creature? Why is it trying to like bond with the Doctor? It's an intriguing start. Colin Baker is in this episode, but not as the Doctor. Yeah, Colin Baker makes his Doctor Who debut, I guess, here in Arc of Infinity. He would, of course, in the next year, I believe, go on to play the Sixth Doctor, the next incarnation of the Doctor. Very strange for, at this time, for, an actor that's already been in the show to then become the Doctor later on, with no real callbacks later on to, him looking like this character of Commander Maxwell, who Colin plays in this episode. I don't think there's a callback to that in Colin's era. I might be incorrect with that, but yeah, it is strange. It's definitely weird seeing Colin Baker here not playing the Doctor, but he still has, his exact same voice. He sounds the same. He looks the same. It's very strange, I will be honest. Colin's cousin is Tegan. Now, when I say Colin, I don't mean Colin Baker. I mean the character Colin Fraser in this episode. He is a cousin to Tegan, which is very strange to start with. It's like, what is going on here? This is very weird. We've never heard of this character before. I mean, he's just a cousin, so I can understand why Tegan hasn't talked about him. But it does seem very random and just kind of a way to get Tegan back into this episode and into the story is just to be like, all right, well, she's got a cousin. He went to Amsterdam. She's going to see him in Amsterdam, and that's how we'll put her into the story. It is a bit random. An antimatter creature bonded with the Doctor, and he's now on Gallifrey to find out why. So this creature, yeah, tried bonding with the Doctor. I don't know if it did completely bond, but I think something happened. It did slightly bond with him, and yeah, he's now on Gallifrey, and the Time Lords have found out about this, and they want to know what's going on here. And ultimately, it's going to go pretty sideways because the Time Lords want to kill the Doctor to stop this antimatter creature. So yeah, they basically think that the only way to stop whatever this creature is to kill the Doctor, and that will kill the creature. Pretty brutal. The High Council have like a vote on this. There's like 5 or 6 of them. Only one of the High Council ends up saying, no, I do not want to do this, and I think that was Councillor Hedden, and we'll get onto him a bit later as well. But yeah, basically the Time Lords are like, yeah, we've got to kill off the Doctor because, yeah, this creature is basically with the Doctor, one with the Doctor now, and we can't let it loose. Tegan gets shot by the creature that shot Colin, but it transports them somewhere. So yeah, earlier in the episode, Colin, they were in like this kind of underground sort of tomb thing. Him and his friend were sleeping there, and he ended up going through this door and found this creature, which we eventually find out is called an Ergon, and it shot Colin, and we think he's dead, but then he appears, but he's like hypnotized or something. And then later on, Tegan goes down there. She gets shot by this Ergon, but turns out that it doesn't kill you. It actually just kind of teleports you, transports you to somewhere else. And yeah, it was like, okay, as soon as Tegan got shot, I knew, oh, okay, well, it's obviously not killing them or doing any real damage to them. But yeah, it was interesting to see what was going on there. The Doctor wasn't killed, but put into the Matrix until this creature released him. So yeah, the Doctor ends up getting put to execution by the Time Lords. And yeah, everybody thinks he has died. He just kind of disappears, but it turns out he's not actually dead. He's now like floating in the Matrix, kind of in no man's land, just, in the Time Lord Gallifrey Matrix, in this really pretty quite bad CGI sort of green screen, blue screen effect, with him just floating there. And then, you've got this creature appearing and talking to him for a long time. And then after talking to him for a while, he reveals that he is Omega, and the Doctor's like, what? You are dead. I killed you ages ago. How are you still alive? You look completely different. And yeah, it's this big revelation. Although I will be honest, it is a long time until this revelation happens. It's not until maybe episode 3, I think. It's quite a while till we figure out this is actually Omega. Omega transferred and now looks like the Doctor. So the whole thing with, Omega trying to kind of like bond with the Doctor was he wants kind of a physical form back. So I'm pretty sure that was the thing with Omega in the original story of the 3 Doctors as well. He was dead and he no longer had a physical form. So that's the same here. He's just kind of this weird antimatter thing that shouldn't really exist. He doesn't have a physical form. He wants to have a physical form again so that he can, properly live once again. And yeah, by bonding with the Doctor, he kind of transfers the Doctor's likeness, I guess, into him. And basically, yeah, Peter Davison is now playing as Omega. It's weird though because yeah, it looks like Peter Davison, but he's of course dressed like Omega. He puts some other weird clothes on as well that he finds. I think he takes some clothes from someone or something. Looks very strange, and but it's Peter Davison, but with the voice of the person voicing Omega, which is very strange. The lip syncing is not that great, but I will be honest, other than the lip syncing talking, Peter Davison does a great job at pretending to be Omega, kind of, you know, when he's in that kind of fair watching that little like puppet show or whatever it was. I can't 100% remember what it was, but there was like some little funny thing he was watching, and he looks really menacing. I think Peter Davison does a great job at that. But yeah, now there's two people that look like the Doctor running around, which I thought was interesting. Omega's turning back into antimatter, so yeah, the transfer didn't go 100% correctly. He thinks that it worked, but the Doctor managed to kind of disrupt it before it was completely transferred. And yeah, Omega starts turning back into antimatter again. And yeah, he's running around there. It is a very long scene of him, you know, slowly turning back into this horrible creature and eventually into like nothing. That he, yeah, there's this really long scene of him running away, the Doctor, Nyssa and Tegan running after him. It is a bit of a prolonged scene, but honestly, in a lot of ways, for the time, some decent effects. It looks pretty cool with him, you know, slowly turning back to this green horrible thing and then ultimately into nothing. Yeah, that's how they defeat Omega in this story. So there we have it. That was my review for Arc of Infinity. Not an amazing story, I will be honest. An interesting concept, but it happens a lot in this era when they go to Gallifrey, where Gallifrey stories are never the most interesting in this era. I don't know what it is. I think it's why they kind of stopped with the Gallifrey stuff in like the new series for quite a while, because yeah, it ultimately just isn't that interesting a lot of the time, and that is kind of the case here. I think Omega himself he takes too long to kind of come out as Omega and just isn't as interesting, anywhere near as interesting or as menacing as he was in the Three Doctors. A rating out of 10 for Arc of Infinity, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. I don't think it's anything absolutely awful. There are for sure worse episodes, and I would still rather watch this over Time Flight, the episode that comes before it, and over a few other stories from this era too, but it's just not one of those episodes that I'm really invested in. It's not super exciting. There's a few things that don't really make sense, and yeah, a 5 out of 10 for Arc of Infinity. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.